You were listening to a Nerd Room podcast, a member of the Star Wars Commonwealth Podcast Network. Be sure to check out more from the Star Wars Commonwealth on the web at starwarscommonwealth.com and take your first steps into a larger world.
Hello and welcome to the Nerd Room. We are back here today, episode 85. It's going down Studio B. I'm one of your hosts, Troy, and over here we got my boy.
It's Sunjay. Welcome back, Troy. Thanks for joining me. I was a little tired doing it last time by myself.
Yeah, no problem, man. You held the fort down. That's a great episode. I was listening to it on my plane ride home.
Well, thank you.
And gotta say, man, it's a great episode.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate
I know some movies now to stay away from after listening to that one. So good looking out.
Yeah, and that's why you guys have me on this podcast, just as the casual moviegoer guy, I guess.
That's right. And for you guys out there, first-time listeners, if you don't know what we're about, this is the Nerd Room. We're talking everything comics, we're talking everything movies, and we're talking everything news. So we got the action figures, we got the posters, we got the movies. Everything goes down in this episode, and we got a jam-packed episode for you guys today.
Well, way to raise the bar pretty high. I mean, you should start them off saying, we do all right. Sometimes we're shitty, sometimes we're great. Lower expectations, Troy. It's all about low expectations. As a recently married man, you should learn that and learn that quick.
Well, you know what? Going off the bat, I have to take that down a notch because we are missing our third member, and that is Tim, our regular host here on the Nerd Room, who holds it down. Tim is away, unfortunately, at this time, but he is going to join us next week for a big episode 86.
Well, we will be talking Star Wars.
Yes.
Most likely.
Getting you guys ready for that Star Wars Rebels, all that good stuff. Okay, so jumping into things not Star Wars, we're going to go right ahead and head into the DCEU.
I like that. Tim's away. Let's talk DC.
Yes, put down the lightsabers and bring out the Batman cowl.
Bring out the bat nipples.
Ugh. Sorry, Tim Burton. Actually, no, Schumacher.
No, the Schumacher.
Yeah, it's the Schumacher nipples.
Batman and Robin is a masterpiece. It is one of the funnest movies you'll ever go to. Honestly, I honestly think that, if you see Rocky Horror Picture Show, they always play it and people dress up as their favorite characters because it's so bad that it's good. Batman and Robin is so bad that it's turned around the bad and has started being good again.
It's pretty damn funny. It's probably the longest running toy commercial I've ever seen in my life.
Well, it worked. I mean, we're all Batman fans. And
I love those toys.
Yeah, I had the Bane, Mr. Freeze.
I had the Batmobile that lit up. And just
You had that?
I had that Batmobile. The engine would light up and look just like the movies. It's crazy.
Man, if I could beat you up, I would and take it. But that would not go so well for me. So, back to Batman.
Yeah, back to Batman. So, going back maybe about a week ago, Matt Reeves came out with some news during a press junket there stating that his new take on the Batman film won't necessarily be in the current DCEU franchise. Led a lot of the general audience and us comic nerds, pretty confused. Turn that around now this week. And Matt Reeves have now come out confirming that he takes back what he says, and this film, The Batman, is actually currently going to be in the DCEU alongside with all the other films like Man of Steel and The Wonder Woman. Sunjay, I got to hear your thoughts on this.
All right, so I might go off on a tangent here, but here's the thing. Every time DC releases news or someone does an interview that's, involved in the DC Extended Universe, people lose their mind. It's almost as if people from DC ran over their dog. It's insane. Literally, this is what would happen. Zack Snyder could cure cancer, and the headline the next day would say, Zack Snyder puts millions of doctors out of work. That is just the way it is. I don't know what Zack Snyder and the rest of the DCEU did, but anyways, getting off my high horse here. I think the comments got misstrued and they got lost in translation. He gave an interview, and for those who didn't read it or hear about it, I believe he said something to the effect of, Batman, this is going to be a standalone film. And everyone took this as, oh my god, Batman's out of the DCEU. This is, Ben Affleck's not going to be involved anymore. It's going to be the guy who does the motion capture for Planet of the Apes. He's going to be the new Batman. I forget his name. He's in Avengers. What's his name?
I'm not too sure.
The motion capture guy.
Oh, Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis, yeah.
Okay.
No,
he's gonna be the new Batman.
Nah, that's what people would probably want. I don't know.
Become Clayface.
That would be actually really cool. Mm-hmm. They need to do Clayface. But anyways, now I totally forgot where I was, but I was on my soapbox and I was bashing people. No, seriously though. And then what it really meant was that this is a standalone Batman film. So we're not going to see Flash. We're not going to see Wonder Woman. There's going to be no distractions or side characters. This is going to be a strictly Batman story. And do you know what else was a strictly Batman story? The Christopher Nolan movies. Strictly focused on Batman and telling his story. And I think this is a good move. Sometimes, you can cram too much continuity or other stuff that can take away from the movie. And this one, lets us focus. Wonder Woman had a little bit of that with Batman, Wayne Enterprises giving her the gift. But for the most part, it was a strictly Wonder Woman film. We didn't see the Flash show up. We didn't see anyone else show up. I like that. Sometimes I do like seeing that, like when you're watching a Marvel film and Captain America shows up in Thor. That can work sometimes. But give me a standalone Batman film. I'm in. Matt Reeves is a wonderful director. Ben Affleck's a wonderful actor. Troy, what are your thoughts?
Okay. So guys, everyone out there, I love the DC comic books. Big fan. I love Man of Steel. Big fan. I really like Wonder Woman. Big fan. Everything else, not so much with the DCEU. I've been on board since Wonder Woman, and I've been loving every move that the DC EU has made. Hearing these comments that came out about a week ago from Matt Reeves, I was shaking my head. I was like, man, you're confusing me right now, and you're confusing the general audience. In this day and age, you can't use the word standalone and then try and take that back when you do know it's to go forward with the cinematic universe, right? I feel like you just can't use those words, and I feel like he's a smarter director than that. And I also feel like WB was kind of like, man, you really need to fix those comments, because that's not the message we want to give the audience. We want to make sure that Batman is a focal point in this universe, and we don't want to take Batman out of this universe. So I feel like that's kind of weird on Matt Reeves' part. I'm totally up for a standalone Batman film contained in this universe. We get it all the time in the comics. We get the Court of Owls. You won't see Superman. You won't see any of those characters. So That's great, and I'm all for it. The other thing, though, this still doesn't convince me that Ben Affleck is going to be showing up in this film. Not to mention he is directing now a new firefighting movie of some sort for Sony.
Oh, really? I never even heard of that.
That's right. That's just been announced. And Casey Affleck might be in that movie as well.
Stupid Casey Affleck.
So, hey, those guys did great stuff with Gone Baby Gone. So I'm looking forward to that. But, these comments are weird, but I am glad to hear now it's confirmed Batman is still going to be in the DCEU, because he's made his appearance, but he's only really had one proper film, and that was BVS, and it wasn't received. It was pretty divided.
Well, 50% loved it.
50%.
Especially in the nerd room. 33% loved it from the nerd room.
Not 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, but 50% divided.
It would kill for 50% on Rotten Tomatoes.
But, this news now, the new news, has me backing up totally, and I can't wait to see what goes down with whoever plays Batman in the future. So that's my take on this. I'm sure Tim has some things to say about that, but keeping it DC, We're moving alongside now with The Joker. Now, the Joker movie is meant to be directed by Martin Scorsese, which is fantastic. This guy has done one of my all-time films, Goodfellas.
Such a good movie.
Such a good movie, and then you put him with Joker. This is going to be interesting.
The Departed.
The Departed, right?
Casino. Did he do Casino?
He did do Casino.
Yeah,
he did.
He was
did
one
Hugo
of your
too. First Kids.
top 5 directors, wasn't he?
Yep. Absolutely. So the Joker standalone movie is not attached to the DCEU. Again, we're going to the standalone territory, meant to be set in the 80s. But this is when it gets confusing. We still are getting another Joker movie alongside with Harley Quinn, which will be like a team-up movie between the two. Still not sure if that's going to be Jared Leto. We do know for sure the 80s film that is meant to be directed by Scorsese will not be Jared Leto. So those are two completely different Jokers in two different timelines. Kind of confusing again. Sunjay, what do you think?
Well, at first when I heard the news, I was a little bit disappointed, because I was like, this is going to confuse general audiences. This is going to cause chaos. But then I thought, DC tried to do something like this back in the day. So I don't know if you remember, Troy, but when The Dark Knight was filming, I think it had just finished filming. George Miller, director of Mad Max, he was set to do a Justice League movie.
A young Justice League.
A young Justice League movie with a Batman.
Armie Hammer.
With a Superman. I don't remember who was set to play Superman.
It was meant to be Henry Cavill at the time, too.
Oh, really?
But then, I forgot his name from Returns. Brandon Routh ended up becoming the Superman later on.
Right. Is he supposed to be in that Justice League movie?
I believe Cavill was meant to be.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They were eyeing him for a long time to be Superman.
So you had two different heroes, different Superman, a different Batman, and this was going to be a standalone film. And I think it would have been an awesome film, and I'm really disappointed the writer's strike robbed us of seeing that excellent Justice League film. But, the thing is, audiences, I don't think, care as much as we care. I think the hardcore nerds would lose it. And I think they got to just get over it. Because, okay, let's go back to that scenario where the writer's strike doesn't happen. Are you going to tell me then that you have Justice League and The Dark Knight Rises coming out within a year in two separate universes that fans would have been upset? They would have been like, we got this amazing The Dark Knight movie, but it's not connected to the Justice League movie. This is a travesty. No, they would have been like, oh my god, we got an amazing, Justice League story, and we got an amazing Dark Knight story. So comics do this all the time. I mean, look, you got Batman, you got Detective Comics. He's also in Justice League. He shows up in Batman and Robin. He's also in World's Finest with Superman. He's in Trinity with Superman and Wonder Woman. Batman is in a lot of comic books, so in my opinion, they're kind of copying the comics, but it is weird. It's something that hasn't been done before.
Yeah, see, the thing is with that is comparing the comics to the movies is so different because the comic books, I feel, have a niche of people that, say, for instance, me, I love the Batman comics. I don't necessarily dip into the Detective Comics. That's not to say that they're bad comics, but I just kind of stay away from them. You go into the films now, if you were to have the Nolan universe, which was brilliant, and at the same time you had the Justice League movie, the Young Justice League movie come out, and that Batman sucked. What would that do to Christopher Nolan? That's a big reason why Christopher Nolan was so protective of not having Batman appear on Smallville. At the time, they were really pushing to get Bruce Wayne to show up in Smallville, but instead they ended up bringing in Oliver Queen to be that billionaire playboy. And Christopher Nolan had nothing to do with that because he's built up this Batman character from the Schumacher, and he's really trying to protect that franchise. So I think that shows a lot. It'd be like doing The Dark Knight Rises, but then you also have the Halle Berry Catwoman.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, what does that do to that film? So it's unfortunate because I was interested in that. I think George Miller is an incredible director, and that would have been such a cool take to see a Young Justice League before we had the New 52 in 2011.
Yeah.
So that would have been pretty cool. But all in all, I'm confused. And the thing is, if you're setting a Joker film in 1980, that gives you so much time to still explore in the same universe. Why not just make it not necessarily Jared Leto, but just make it the same Joker, but he's younger? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have that timeline.
The only thing I can think of is this. Some of the best DC stories we've gotten are Elseworld stories. So you look at Kingdom Come, you look at The Dark Knight Returns. I always get that confused with Dark Knight Rises.
I know. Yeah, right with everything.
The Dark Knight Returns. You got Superman Red Sun, you got Batman the Killing Joke. Those are all standalone stories. So maybe this gives them a chance because, okay, in the DCEU, you can't kill off Batman, right?
Right.
Or at least you can't kill him off and not bring him back. But if you have a standalone film, everything's fair game because it's just a one-off. So, treat these as something different because that's what they used to be until Marvel started with their Avengers line. Everything was just one-off. So what happened in the Christopher Reeve Superman films didn't affect what happened in the Michael Keaton Batman films.
Going with that though, do you think it's fair for the DCEU to double dip in the goods? I mean, Joker's a big character, Batman's a big character. There's so many cool characters to explore. Do we really need them to waste the time and effort on a Joker standalone when we could still be building up a Green Lantern film or a Birds of Prey film? Because for every standalone film they're doing out there, they're not putting out movies of characters we have not seen yet on the big screen that are connected still in the DCEU. And I also feel like they're kind of riding the heels off of Fox's Wolverine.
Yeah.
That's pretty standalone.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I'm not totally up for it, but I'm still, riding the DCU train, and I am looking forward to the Justice League film.
You bring up a good point, Troy. I mean, here we are. We've had one Superman film, and he was in Batman v Superman, so he's in two, I guess. But we still have no word on a Man of Steel 2. We still have no word on a Flash director. There's so many core characters. I do worry that WB, as you said, is double dipping. They're going too much with the Batman universe. It is the highest selling property that they have, but look at what Wonder Woman did. It showed that there is a yearning, there's a love of other characters at DC that aren't just Batman. And you don't want DC fans to resent Batman. I mean, if you're a hardcore Superman fan or hardcore Aquaman fan or hardcore Flash fan, you get quite upset because all you see is Batman, Batman, Batman. And that's what the people want, which is fine because he is awesome. But there's more than just Batman. This isn't the Batman universe. So you bring an interesting point. I think absolutely they need to, before they get to these second Batman universe, make a Man of Steel 2.
Exactly.
Give us something. Maybe they're waiting for after Justice League when he officially returns. I hope so.
Right.
Because the lack of Superman news has been very disheartening.
Absolutely agree. And I've been reading a lot of Superman right now, and I'm, just craving something like him from on the big screen. And going into the double dipping factor, we're witnessing it right now. The Spider-Man universe. This is crazy. They're giving us a Black Widow and Black and Silver movie that has Spider-Man in it or doesn't. We don't know if they're giving us a Venom movie, a Sinister Six movie, and it's kind of, tarnishing the Spider-Man rep. And I feel like that is the blueprint right there to stay away from.
Yeah, I mean, definitely if you look at the box office gross of Spider-Man Homecoming, it was good, but I think it was a little bit less than people were expecting.
Yeah, for box office wise, it was for sure. I predicted pretty high on that one. I think 150 or something I predicted, and I love that movie, so go out there and support it and see it. But the thing with that movie is it made more profit than The Amazing Spider-Man 2 because their budget was drastically lower than what they blew on The Amazing Spider-Man 2. So, but the less about Amazing Spider-Man 2, the better.
Can you say one nice thing about that movie?
I love that costume. When I first saw Andrew Garfield in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 costume, it is the most comic accurate Spider-Man costume we've had. Those eyes are like the perfect size of not being too big or not too small. They're bigger than the Steve Ditko, but they're a lot smaller than the Todd McFarlane. So I do like those eyes. The costume is cool, and there's some pretty cool web swinging going on in there.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I could think of. Should we get off Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Yeah,
should we just jump into Spider-Man 3 and just go through the doldrums of Spider-Man history?
Let's just get away from Sony completely and talk about this new thing going on here. So we're in a world right now where everything's being streamed. We have Netflix, we have Hulu, we have Crackle, and we have Amazon, and plenty more out there. But now coming along the side is a WB subscription plan, and as well, Disney is coming through with their subscription plan. This is big. This is really big, I think, because Disney as a whole is just such a huge force to be reckoned with. It's like was it by and large from the Pixar universe? That's what Disney basically is, right? Yeah, they're just dominating. They're going to send us up in space, and we're all going to become overweight. Go
Sounds
watch WALL-E
good to
for
me.
that reference.
Yeah.
So, I'm dying to hear your thoughts. What do you think of, Disney taking over and, basically having this streaming subscription?
It's interesting because this really fractures Netflix, and it really hurts Netflix because a lot of people buy Netflix or subscribe to Netflix for the Marvel TV series. We just had Defenders drop. We have Daredevil, 2 seasons of Daredevil, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones. There's a Punisher one coming out. So these are big, big projects. And now I don't know if they're going to stay at Netflix because Netflix had paid for them originally.
And they're Netflix originals, so I'd imagine they'd have to.
Yeah. So if you're Disney, you'd fight to try to get that back. And so it's going to be interesting. I think this is going to really hurt network TV. I think a lot of people, as we gain more subscription services, people today are very lazy. They want stuff right away, instant gratification. And, if I have to sit and wait to watch an episode of Big Brother or Green Arrow, I don't watch much TV.
It's Arrow, actually.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Fixing my glasses over here.
Yeah. So, if I have to sit and wait once a week for an episode to come out, that used to be the norm, but not anymore. So I think all these big TV shows are going to go out on subscription services. So this is really going to hurt the Foxes, the CBSs, ABC is owned by Disney, so they'll be okay. But, Disney, this could be a huge moneymaker for them as well because all their animated films might be coming on this. And, that's a huge, huge deal. Some of those animation films, as they say, they put them away in the vault and you can't even watch them for years.
Right. Especially with the quality coming out. I mean, when you have Netflix around the corner, even right now, currently, they will not produce shows, but you can stream shows 4K even on some Netflix shows.
Yeah, I saw that.
So once Disney gets a hold of that, you're going to be watching The Fox and the Hound in 4K, which is going to be pretty crazy. There's so much Disney can do. There's so much that Disney can do here, and it's scary for everybody else out there. I feel like network TV as a whole has been just dropping anyways as it is, and I feel like Disney, it's only a matter of time before they monopolize off of that, which looks like what they're doing, especially when they can offer things like exclusives. So let's just say you go out there and you subscribe to this thing and you get access to Frozen like a month later. Frozen 2. You know what I mean? Like Frozen 2 is going to be in theaters for, let's see, a runtime of 3 months. Yeah. And then boom, it's going to hit that Disney subscription or Disney, I don't know what's called, Disney Stream.
We'll call it Disflix.
Disflix and chill.
It'd be kind of weird though, trying to like chill with your date watching like a Disney animated movie.
101 Dalmatians.
Have you ever tried to make it with your wife while watching a Disney animated film?
Yeah, 101 Dalmatians.
Yeah. Whatever gets you in the mood, okay?
Whatever it is.
Yeah, I'm not here to judge, okay?
That walk in the park scene.
Yeah.
Something else.
So cute.
Yeah, so it's crazy. And then, moving on over now to WB. This seems kind of interesting. Now, obviously, WB is a big factor in the game. They don't have the Disney power, but they're right behind them. Mm-hmm. But the cool thing is, I do know they're offering a Young Justice Season 3 is going to be streamed through these guys, so that you can only get it to them. Sold. Right? And then Jinx you over your beer. And... And 2, you're also going to be able to get like I don't want to say it's a CW, but you're going to get the live action Teen Titans, which we'll finally see Dick Grayson, because you can't do a Teen Titans movie or TV show without Dick Grayson leading the cast. So absolutely. You being a DC guy here, like, what are your thoughts on what this streaming device can offer?
It used to be streaming had everything, but now my wall's going to take a hit because now I got to get the Disney one, I gotta get the Netflix one, I gotta get the WB one now. I'm excited. I mean, Young Justice, as we said, is just such a tremendous show. I've been wanting to catch up on it, but I can't find it anywhere. Like, is it on Netflix?
It was on Netflix, yeah. Season 1, Season 2 is on there.
Is it still there?
I don't know if it's still there.
Okay.
I don't know, but I do know at the time it was. Netflix, that's the other thing. They've had so many good shows in there from, and Tim can hear me on this one, Avengers, is it Avengers? Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Love
Avengers,
that show, yeah.
Great cartoon on there. They have the Clone Wars, the whole season, and then they also have, at least at one point, they did have the Young Justice Season 1 and Season 2. So I'm sure they'll probably move right over to the WB streaming device along with Season 3 of Young Justice.
One thing that Disney has really been hurting on, and they don't hurt on much, but their home video sales. So I follow, there's a website called, I believe it's By the Numbers, and they track home video sales. Now, they've been abysmal the last couple of years compared to what they used to be, but Disney is falling behind. Their Marvel movies don't sell as well on home video as DC. And I think part of the reason is you can watch the Marvel movies on Netflix.
Right.
Civil War, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, all on Netflix.
Yeah, Rogue One, all that stuff, yeah.
Absolutely. DC, you can't watch Man of Steel on Netflix. You can't watch Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad.
I think BVS was on Netflix. Pretty sure.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I thought it was on there.
Okay, I'll have to double check. Whoever's listening to this, you can do a fact check. I guess we could just fact check, but we're too lazy.
Anyone listening out there, write in the comments and be like, Troy, shut up. What are you talking about? It's not on Netflix.
Or Sunjay, you're the worst. Get out of here. But we still love you.
Where's Tim? Tim would know.
Tim would know. Oh, yeah. So maybe, Disney, they're not dumb. So they see that and they say, we're losing all this money to Netflix. So maybe we should take that money. And I think Warner Brothers, they would be smart not to put their DC films on that subscription service, especially the ones that are part of the DCEU, because those do really well on home video. Okay. I think Suicide Squad was number 2 last year for comic book movies, and Batman v Superman was number 3. Number 1 was Deadpool. So they both beat Civil War.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Even though that had the bigger box office return. That'll be interesting to see if it continues that way with this streaming device coming out. I imagine all those WB movies are going to transfer over.
You'd think, yeah.
Yeah.
But they should be cautious because you don't want to cannibalize your business. And, Netflix is kind of doing that with Disney. WB would be smart to kind of stay away from that because, those home video sales, it's a way to get the movies into the hands of viewers. If you didn't get a chance to see it in theaters, get it on home video. You can watch it before Justice League comes out. And you have to pay, instead of a $10 movie ticket, you pay $20, $30, $40 for a 4K version, right? So, your profits are a lot bigger compared to your ticket sales.
Yeah, that's true. It's interesting, actually, that you bring that point up because, are you familiar with the app or the service called MoviePass?
I heard about that, yeah, where you can just pay $10 a month and watch unlimited movies in theater.
Exactly. When this thing came out, I believe it was $40 and is a little limited, and then dropped to $30, and now it's dropped down to $10.
Interesting.
Right? That's huge. I would be watching Homecoming every second day.
They actually had something for Wonder Woman and BVS where I think you paid $100, maybe it was less, and you could watch that movie anywhere, anytime in the U.S. in theaters for free.
So how do they accumulate the box office sales off that then? They just the one-time purchase?
Probably just a one-time $100.
And then after that, it goes under
just
the record or
yeah,
under the radar.
They probably don't even count it. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I would do that for Wonder Woman or BVS.
Well, they need to do something. I know we're going on a tangent here, but I think the movie theaters need to do something to bring up the theater going audience, experience, because I feel like with all these other streaming devices, and I have said 50,000 times, but there's no other way to put it. With all these things coming out there, they're taking away from going to the theaters and really staying home. There's that box that's coming out. I think it's $150 for the box. I think you can pay $30 or $40. Treat it like a pay-per-view fight. Everybody pitches in and watches, Avengers Infinity War at home within a 24-hour period. I think you have it as a rental.
Yeah,
it's crazy, but it's scary because I love the movie theaters. You love the movie theaters.
Absolutely.
Tim loves the movie theaters, and I think it's kind of scary because we're going to get to a point where you're going to walk past the movie theater on a Monday and it's closed.
Yeah,
we're only going to see these things open on a Thursday, Friday weekend. Opening, right? So it's scary.
Yeah, I mean, you know me, I'm a huge fan of Blockbuster and Rogers Video.
Absolutely. Blockbuster's in your basement.
Absolutely, yeah. Come over, I can give you a movie pass.
Yeah, late fees?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
2 days
Oh,
or it's late fees, yeah. But I saw the writing on the wall with Netflix, and I'm seeing the writing on the wall for home video sales because if you go to a Walmart, you go to a Best Buy, the home video sale rack is abysmal. I have a better selection than Best Buy right now, my local Best Buy, which is crazy.
Damn.
And it's stupid because that's a big retail chain. So where am I going to buy my movies from nowadays, And I see the writing on the wall for home video or for theaters.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't, it's sad to say, but in 5 years, are we even going to have a theater anymore? It's crazy to say, but this year has been the worst year for box office gross in, I think, 12 years.
Yeah, I know at least the summer has. The summer, August. From August and everything up, it's I think it's an all-time low.
Yeah.
Which is scary. I don't think movie theaters are going to go. I just feel like the time of when you can go in within the week is going to be very, very limited. I think you're always going to have at least the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe even the Thursday, because the Thursday's been pushed to that sneak peek kind of showing now these days. But I'm with you right there. The movie theaters really need to step their game up and kind of figure out a new way to really intrigue the audience to make that effort to come out there.
I mean, I used to go to movies all the time, and that's who goes to movies. Young people. You go on a date, you take your date to a movie. That's just what I used to do growing up, right? And that's kind of like the standard dinner in a movie.
Yep.
So that's, when you get older and you start having kids, you don't make it out to the movies as much, especially the first couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just normal. That's part of life. Mm-hmm. So that's what the market is they're missing, is the young people. Why do young kids today think it's passé to go to a movie theater? I mean, as you said, you could just stay home and Netflix and chill.
That's exactly it.
That's what it is. I mean, you got to find a way to drive the young kids out again. I mean, look at the drive-in theater. That used to be king. You go to any rural Canadian prairie city and they'd have a drive-in movie theater.
Always wanted to go to one of those.
Have you never been?
Never been.
I've been to 2.
Oh,
such a fun experience.
Yeah.
And then you put on the radio and it comes through your radio speakers.
That's
the sound.
right.
Yeah, it was cool. And I miss that. I mean, I've only been to a couple, but I thought they were really cool. Mm-hmm. And those died out because they became passé. I don't know why, but I think it'd be really cool to, especially in wintertime, to go to a movie like The Thing where it's set in Antarctica.
Oh shoot!
Yeah,
There you go.
that'd be cool. Maybe environmental reasons people didn't go. Oh no, that's not true. I don't know.
Yeah, idling. Hey, I guess maybe the cars.
I don't
guess
know.
not.
That's
Well, I guess if it's
interesting.
winter and it's cold out, you got to have the heat cranked.
Yeah.
You can't let your truck idle or your car idle.
Well, you could just use the body heat.
Yeah, drive it and chill.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. So they got to find a way. Could that be, though, just that this year the movies weren't as strong as previous years? You had Wonder Woman, you had Spider-Man Homecoming, great hits.
Yeah, we've had some of the best comic book movies ever.
But then you got Transformers, Pirates of the Caribbean, which apparently wasn't very good. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
You got The Mummy.
Yeah.
You got a couple that have kind of bombed.
Yeah, but it's not over yet. We got Thor.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? It could be horrible. I think it's going to be great.
It looks good.
I'm starting to warm up to Justice League.
Looks great.
We've had Spider-Man. We've had Wonder Woman. We've had Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm not a big fan of Logan, but I'm in the small minority. A lot of people really love that movie. And we still have Kingsman coming around the corner.
That's right. 3 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. So I still stand by it. I think this is probably one of the best comic book movies seasons we've had, and that's the driving force behind the theaters keeping them alive is the comic book movies. As much as the pretentious Hollywood audience wants to look down at them,
Yeah.
hey, it's keeping it alive.
Absolutely. If you don't have those big blockbuster movies, you're not going to have chance to display your artsy films.
Yeah.
And I do enjoy, the kind of low budget horror film or,
yeah.
the artsy films here and there. But my love is comic book movies. And, I'm not the only one, and they definitely drive the box office. So we got to find some way to get the young kids out to movies again. We got to make it cool. Should we do like a rap for young kids?
I'm not a good rapper, not a good singer.
Young kids, go to movies today. Don't be lame. Go to movies today. I can't find a word that rhymes with today. I'm such a bad rapper. Anyway.
Well,
word
there
to
you
your
have
mother.
It. There you have it. Well, if you're new to the Nerd Room, this is also something else we do.
Yeah.
Sanjay raps on the Nerd Room every now and then.
They call me Grandmaster Sanjay.
There you go. There you go. So for you guys listening in the comments, please do write out some lyrics for Sanjay.
Yeah, I mean, give me your best rap lyrics for how you can get young kids to go to movies today. So, Troy, you mentioned an interesting point when you talked about pay-per-view fights. Did you watch the huge Mayweather versus Mcgregor fight on the weekend?
Yeah, I watched it in my head about a month ago when I heard about this fight coming, and I already predicted exactly what was going to happen. So yeah, you can say I watched it.
You didn't shell out the $100?
No, I knew for sure Mayweather was taking that win.
Oh, for sure.
Hands down.
But you got to admit, there was some intrigue to that fight.
There was some intrigue. I didn't know Mayweather was that much of an intelligent boxer where he could analyze his opponent for 3 rounds and then figure him out and then take him out through the 7. But, hats off still to McGregor. That was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And, I look forward to seeing him challenge Michael Phelps in a swim meet next time.
We could challenge him to a podcast off.
There we go.
Yeah, you heard that first, McGregor. We can't offer you $100 million, but what we can offer you is publicity.
And some comic knowledge.
There you go. So the reason why we're talking about this is today's topic, top 5 fights in comic books. So what I did was I went off the Mayweather-McGregor template, so I just chose one-on-one fights. I don't know if you did the same, Troy.
Did the same.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we're going to start with our top 5. Rock, paper, scissors to see who goes first.
Here we go.
All right, ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh, shoot. So we both pulled out scissors.
Not like literal scissors, but like in rock, paper, scissors. All right, let's do this again. Rock, paper, scissors. Both rock.
This is crazy. This is going down. Like
all right. This is it. Rock, paper, scissors.
We just both pulled out paper. We're not even playing.
We're not even playing. This is 3 in a row. All right, this is for all the gold. All right, think of it. Okay, I got it. Ready? Rock, paper, scissors. Oh, Rock smashes scissors.
Yeah. Sanjay
Boom.
smash. There we go.
Sanjay smash. All right, so I'm going first. My list will probably be DC heavy. I don't know if your list will be.
We'll see.
A little bit. Okay.
We'll
All right, so as I said, part of what made the McGregor-Mayweather fight so intriguing was there's 2 men from 2 different worlds. And in comic books, there is 2 large worlds, Marvel and DC. And so for my fight number 5, I chose 2 men from 2 different worlds, Thor from Marvel and Superman from DC.
Nice.
So this is from the amazing crossover Justice League vs. Avengers, issue 2. If you haven't got a chance, read it right now. It is fantastic. It is probably one of the best crossovers, and it is the best Marvel and DC crossover they've ever done. So this fight, it's short, it's brief, but it's the two biggest heavyweights in each respective universe. I think Thor is the top of the Marvel universe, and Superman is the top of the DC universe. So this fight starts out, Thor, he's trying to hit Superman with the hammer. Superman grabs the hammer, and Thor freaks out, and he says something to the effect of, Odin's beard, no one in the 9 realms could ever stop my hammer. And then Superman has this amazing line. He goes, too bad in my universe, the dial goes up to 11. And I was like, oh, Superman, he burned you. So he grabs the hammer, uses his laser vision, takes out Thor, and he goes, this may be the single greatest opponent I've ever fought. And it was just so cool to see these two titans clash on page. It's something that I've bashed my action figures around, trying to find who from Marvel could take out Big Blue. And I hate to say it, Tim, but I don't think anyone can. Do you, Troy? Like, if you had to choose one king of Marvel to take on Big Blue in a pay-per-view McGregor Mayweather super fight, who would it be?
Okay, here it goes, guys. I'm taking it back here a long, long time ago. One of my first things how I got into comic books were Marvel cards.
Right.
Going way back to those 80s, and there was this certain card. He was a big, giant green guy. Goes by the name of the Incredible Hulk.
Oh.
You flip that card around, it shows his strength, stamina, intelligence, all that stuff.
Yep.
Hulk's strength was off the charts. This guy was a mean green fighting machine. He still is.
Yeah.
And I always stand by to this day, if Superman, and I like Superman a lot,
yeah.
but if Superman was to cross paths with the Hulk would smash all over that.
Well, they did in DC versus Marvel.
Okay. And
yeah.
They fought. I was going to ask
and
you, so have they fought?
Superman won.
What?
Big Blue took him out.
Who was writing that comic?
America. I think that was one where you actually voted on.
Oh, okay.
So there was like 5 predetermined, but that was one where you voted on, and America voted on Superman to beat Hulk.
They must not have had those Marvel cards that I was carrying back then. If only they knew.
All right, Troy, who'd you got for number 5?
Okay, man, this is cool. So I'm taking it back to 1974.
Okay.
All right. The Incredible Hulk, just coming off the heels of the Hulk.
Yep.
The Incredible Hulk issue 180 and 181, written by Len Wein. I hope I got that name right there. But this is the first appearance of the Wolverine. This is a pretty cool comic. Everybody knows the ins and outs and the history of Hulk and Wolverine. And, this is such a cool character at the time to see, so much mystery. I don't think we actually had an origin to the Wolverine of Wolverine Logan till about early 2000s with that little book, The Origin of Wolverine, which is a great book if you haven't read it.
Great title. It tells you exactly what it is.
Great title. Too bad the movie didn't live up to that comic book. But yeah, this is a must-have. And, this book's so cool, too, because there's so much importance from that book going right into Old Man Logan. Because Logan and the Hulk and the Banner, Logan and Banner, they've been going at it, bumping heads since his first appearance. So a lot of weight holds down in this book. There's also another character that the Hulk was fighting, I believe, in this issue, some kind of like white Sasquatch-looking thing, and the Wolverine interrupted that. He made a short little appearance in issue 80 or 180, and then had a full-out blown appearance in issue 181. If you can get your hands on this bad boy,
you're the money.
My hat's off to you.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's an awesome pull. I totally didn't even think of that. It's such an iconic image with Wolverine coming out, and he's got the classic yellow costume on.
Yeah, with the short ears and kind of like a tiger in a way.
Yeah,
really. It's kind of funny. Yeah,
I haven't seen them duel it out on screen in the cartoons. I don't think they've ever crossed paths in the X-Men universe when they had that cartoon in the 90s. I don't think Hulk ever was there.
No, but there was a movie, an animated movie that came out a little while back. I think.
Oh yes,
10 years.
Hulk versus
when you get to see Hulk versus Thor.
Yeah.
Which is cool, and then you get to see Hulk versus Wolverine, and Deadpool even shows up in that.
Really,
one,
I totally forgot about
cool.
that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's probably somewhere in that library of yours.
Yeah, that's one thing Marvel doesn't put out a lot is their animated films. They're definitely cut back on those.
They really have. But they had some cool stuff going on when they were doing these motion comics. They adapted Joss Whedon's The X-Men Gifted. Which was pretty cool. And they did some anime stuff too. When Blade had an anime series and X-Men had an anime series, Wolverine had an anime series. Those were pretty cool. But I feel like in both departments right now, DC, Warner Brothers, and Marvel, Disney are both slacking in the animated department. Yeah. But hats off for sure for WB because they were holding it down for a while back. It's just everything since Batman Batman, Bad Blood, and Teen Titans. All those movies have kind of fallen off.
Yeah.
Even Aquaman wasn't even that good.
I was so disappointed by that. They had so much potential.
Yep.
Throne of Atlantis was a great story, and that actually brings me into number 4. Boom, nice segue.
Yeah, look at that.
We're just on point today.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So my number 4, Aquaman versus his brother Ocean Master.
Nice.
Now this takes place in Throne of Atlantis, Justice League number 17 of the New 52 run. Now, reading this when the New 52 came out, I didn't even bother with Aquaman. And this run, I read it in Justice League and I was like, Aquaman is awesome. Like, I saw Jeff Johns was writing Justice League. He was also writing Aquaman. So I immediately picked up the Aquaman book and fell in love with the character. Just such a great character. This is a Shakespearean kind of tale where it's brother versus brother and the winner gets the crown.
Oh.
Yeah, so the winner gets the crown of Atlantis. And Ocean Master, he tricks the Atlantean army into going and invading Earth. And they battle it out, Aquaman and Ocean Master. I think it's in Gotham or Boston. I can't remember which city. I think it's Gotham. And they battle it out in the streets of Gotham. Aquaman defeats them. The splash pages on this are phenomenal. It's raining. It's nighttime. They both have tridents, and they're both going at it.
Both have their hands, too?
Yeah, unfortunately. Aquaman needs the hook hand back.
Yeah, man.
This is something I really want to see in the movie. Jason Momoa, he confirmed that Ocean Master is the big baddie in the Aquaman 1 movie. I say that because I'm holding out hope for Aquaman 2.
Yes.
And yeah, absolutely. Get Black Manta in there.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
One of his best villains, for sure.
Oh, yeah. They cast him. It's the guy from Baywatch. I forget his name. That's the only thing he's in.
Yeah, because there's going a while back there. We did see like behind the scenes, and I thought we saw the Ocean Master costume. There's a while back. There's costumes, and I'm pretty sure that looked like not Ocean Master. Sorry, Black Manta's. I'm pretty sure that was his costume in there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is something brother versus brother. It's very Thor and Loki-esque.
Okay.
Yeah. And it turned me into an Aquaman fan. I mean, Aquaman is just so badass, and Ocean Master. Aquaman has such a diverse set of villains. We talk about Black Manta, Ocean Master. I guess those are the only two that I can really think of off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But they're both so awesome, so you could do at least 2 movies with those two. So that's my number 4. What do you got, Troy, for your number 4?
Yeah, going into number 4, I'm right there with you with DC. I'm going off of Nightwing issue 30.
Oh, okay.
It's 2014 run by James Tian, and this is Batman versus Nightwing.
Oh,
this,
yeah.
This is dope. This is coming off the heels off of Forever Evil.
Yeah.
Where they basically, Lex Luthor kind of killed Nightwing, but brought him back.
Right.
They kept it on their table. Nobody knew that Nightwing was actually still alive. Dick Grayson, when I mentioned Nightwing here. And Batman is asking Nightwing to do something, way out of his wheelhouse. He wants Nightwing to remain hidden and killed. And, Nightwing doesn't like this decision at all. He's like, what about Batgirl, and what about Tim Drake, and what about Alfred? Like, you got to keep that. And leading up to this, if you're reading Batman has the whole Bat family, but he's been lying to them a lot. Going through the Court of Owls, there's been some trust issues to the Bat family, and this book is such a cool payoff to all of that, where Batman's still asking them to do the unforgivable. So Nightwing accepts this mission. But meanwhile, they're doing this huge training montage, and these guys are fighting back and forth, and Nightwing's getting his hits in, and Batman's getting his hits in. And I think Batman even drops the line from Christopher Nolan when he's like, why do we get down to pick ourselves up? And I think he drops it on Nightwing. I think it's that issue. And it's really cool, like, it's not the best art, but they're in the Batcave. These two guys, Batman and Nightwing, the original Boy Wonder, are just going at it hard, fighting. They're bleeding. It's a tense training scene.
It was awesome.
It was awesome.
Bloody, and it was really
bloody.
I want to see on the screen.
Right? Oh, I'd love to see it on the screen. If the movie, could you imagine the opening crawl opening up, and it's these guys just kicking each other's ass, and it's like who's throwing down with Batman, and it's Nightwing. So it's a really cool, and at the end of the issue, no spoilers, but I've pretty much given up the goods. But Nightwing accepts this mission to now, basically remain dead and go low key and become a spy for Spiral. And he gives up the mantle of Nightwing. He gives up his identity as Dick Grayson, and he goes on this mission, which I think that lasted in the comics for about 30 issues itself.
It was a long time.
It was a long time. It was cool at first. I kind of got a little bored of the spy stuff because I'm a sucker for Nightwing.
Yeah.
So that's my number 4, man. It's a really cool match going on. Again, a lot of cool splash pages going on.
I tell you, you make me want to reread Nightwing.
Yeah.
Like, just the passion. It was such a good series. I really got to reread that. Maybe I'll get it in trades one day, and I'll just
Definitely,
flip through
man.
it.
Definitely. I got some here, and it's cool, especially, if you get into Batman 2011, New 52, where it's the Court of Owls is going
So
on, and
good.
then you pick up the Nightwing book, and it's the City of Owls, and you find out how connected Nightwing is to the Court of Owls, and he's meant to be a Talon himself. Like his name's Grayson, but he's actually like the Gray Sun.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh man, it's so good. I really love, people can talk what they want about the New 52. It really got me into DC,
Me
and
too.
I love everything with Batman. I love the Wonder Woman run. I know you love that run in New
So
52.
good.
Nightwing's great, and the middle run of Superman is pretty cool too.
Yeah.
So
How's the Nightwing Rebirth?
love it.
Yeah?
Oh, I love it. I just actually finished an issue right now, issue 24. I just got off the heels of, where he's fighting some cool villains that have made appearance. So yeah, no, I definitely love that issue of Nightwing number 30. Go out there and check it out. Matter of fact, guys, go and check out all these fight scenes we were mentioning to you guys
Yes.
here. Yeah.
Absolutely. Check them out at your local comic book shop. Don't do it online, because online comics are not as cool as real comics.
That's not as cool. You don't get that smell. You mean you
Yeah.
can download them. You can go to the Marvel and DC websites and actually pay for these things, but don't be cheaping out and
Yeah. Get the real
get
feel.
the real thing. Get
Yeah.
the smell of the
Support
comics.
your
Get that
local
flavor.
comic shop.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's your number 3, man?
I'm staying in the Bat family.
Cool.
So we're used to Batman winning. He almost never loses.
Yeah.
But what about the night that Batman broke his back?
Or Batman got his back broken.
Yes, that's right. By
Yes.
the one, the only, the Bane.
Nightfall,
number 11. So Bane, this is his first appearance, and he came out on the scene in a big way. The 90s were not very kind to DC superheroes. Pretty much all of them got knocked off, and there's this new wave of superheroes that tried to take over. Kind of like what we're seeing in Marvel right now. And fans had a clamoring for the original heroes, but the reason is because the originals are just so iconic. And Batman had been through so much, and he had never lost. He had always found a way to come out on top. So this new villain, Bane, comes on the scene. And he's smart. He's not just strong, he's a strategist.
You mean he's not like the one in the Schumacher movies?
Bane smash. Just so funny, but so bad. Like that Borat impression, I guess. It's so funny, but so bad. So you got Bane, and Batman had been sick. He had this virus, and it was a very deadly virus, and he had survived, but he had weakened. And Bane goes out, and he goes to Arkham, and he releases all of Batman's villains. So Batman has to go and capture all the villains to bring them back into Arkham. When he does that, he goes back into Wayne Manor, and he's like, I can rest for the night. But Bane had deduced that Bruce Wayne was in fact Batman. So he's waiting for him in the Batcave, and that's when all hell breaks loose. Poor Bruce Wayne never stood a chance. This is a beatdown. Sometimes it's hard to even read because I hate seeing Bruce Wayne get his ass handed to him, but that's what this was. And Christopher Nolan did it perfectly, I think, in The Dark Knight Rises.
That's the best thing he did in that movie, from my opinion.
It was, there is no score. The music was silent. All you can hear is the raindrops. And you just hear Bane. He's like, I was wondering what would break first, your body or your spirit. And then he snaps Batman's back. Like, he grabs up Bruce Wayne Batman, and then he gives him like a backbreaker.
It's iconic. Yeah.
That one panel when it's like, I must break you, and then it has him over his knee. Totally 90s amazement in that panel. And it's just, it gets me, because that's when I started getting into comic books, was the 90s. And I know a lot of people shit on 90s comics because they said it was overly violent and overly too many guns and too many pouches.
Too many pouches.
Yeah. I love the pouches. It's just iconic. It's a unique era. It's kind of like 80s rock. 80s rock with the long hair, the glam rock.
Long hair don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so before we talk about Guns N' Roses, Troy, what's your number 3?
Well, just going off of what you said, man, I remember Nightfall, and that was something else. That's crazy. What year did that one come out? 94?
92, I think.
So it's interesting, because I always felt like Bane was kind of DC's answer to Venom.
Right, because he even took Venom.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
I kind of found the similarities, and he was meant to be like that new arch enemy to Spider-Man as what Bane was to Batman, and he filled those shoes. I like that run of theirs. I didn't like Jean-Paul Valley.
So
like
bad.
I didn't like them.
The claws.
Yeah, it was just and that felt like Spider-Man 2099.
Yeah.
It's just way too souped up. And I remember how that whole book ends eventually, where Nightwing and Bruce are talking, and Nightwing's like, if you asked me, I would have taken the mantle. Like I would have stepped in those shoes. And they had a real cool father and son moment, which I really appreciated.
Yeah.
So that book has major consequences, but major payoff. And yeah, that's a good run.
So there was a lot of controversy when that came out. A lot of people were, when they heard Batman was finally going to get defeated, they expected the Joker to do it.
Right.
And they were upset that this new guy, Bane, they said he hadn't earned the right yet to do it.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I totally think he does. I could totally understand where they're coming from that perspective that, the Joker should have been the one. But the way, if you read this comic book, how Bane is, he's a brooding looking force, but intellectually he's so much more than what he is physically. Mm-hmm. And to see how he pulls off and just, picks and pulls at Batman and sends out a whole, the best rogues, one of the best rogues gallery after Batman.
Yeah.
And then he's waiting for him, and he really just gives it to Batman. And Batman, is the best detective out there, but he didn't see this coming at all. So, hats off to Bane. And going into a Rebirth right now, what's that comic run that just happened? I Am Bane.
I Am Bane, so good.
And when you read Nightfall, and then you connect those tissues to this book, it all just fits so well in the history that those two have had. He's one of Batman's best villains for sure.
Yeah, I'm glad they came back and they gave Bane some props, because for a while he was just the mindless goon that Batman could defeat in 2 seconds.
Yeah, and then an anti-hero here and there, and I really like how they brought him back into the fold. And if you guys haven't read the Rebirth run yet of I Am Bane, go check those comic books out for sure. Yeah,
there's a really cool run as well that Bane was involved in. I think it was Forever Evil Gotham, and it was all of Batman's rogue gallery having like this brawl on the streets of Gotham because there's no more superheroes. I have the issues. I haven't read it yet, but it looks interesting, and Bane is heavily featured in that. Yeah,
I'm not spoiling anything. I kind of touched on that one a little bit too, and I think Bane kind of like takes on the mantle himself a little bit of Batman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. And I think he has the Tom Hardy code in that, The Dark Knight Rises.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Iconic, man.
Yeah, that's great.
That's another movie me and you are going to have to rewatch is Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
Because that is my all-time favorite superhero film.
Yeah, see, you love that one. That one was, for me, the weakest one in that franchise, but there's moments in there that I'm like, wow, Christopher Nolan, you killed it here. And then there's other moments that I'm like, I'm just not quite there. Yeah, but definitely overall good trilogy. So, speaking of trilogy, that would be number 3, and I'm moving on to number 3.
Good segue.
Yeah. And so I'll leave it at that segue before I butcher the segue. I'm moving on to Civil War, issue 1 to issue 7, 2006. You got Cap, and you got Iron Man. Huge fight going on throughout these issues. This is big. Civil War really put people back in the comics.
Absolutely.
This is like just massive what this did as a trade, as single issue. I know Tim's out there and he loves this book himself. He's a big Cap guy. And man, this is great. Iron Man versus Captain America. You got some stuff going on between the two. You got times and moments when those guys are about to come together, and you think the war's going to end, and it doesn't. And Iron Man pulls a little, devastating kind of move and zaps Cap. And ultimately, spoilers here. This book's been out for about 11 years.
Yeah.
Cap obviously bites it at the end of this
bullet.
This book. He bites it literally. Yeah, he does bite that bullet. So all in all, and this is written by Mark Millar. This guy's done. He did do Kingsman, and he did do obviously Civil War. He's done. Did he do Kick-Ass as well? I can't. remember.
He did. Yeah,
I think he did do Kick-Ass. So there you go. So yeah, definitely pick this one up if you haven't already. The art is just fantastic through and through. This is probably getting outside of Infinity Crisis and getting outside of Infinity War. It was an Infinite Crisis. Infinite Crisis is the DC one, right?
Yeah.
So Infinite Crisis, Infinity War, getting outside of that, and Secret Wars, this is like one of the all-time event comic books to really put things and make it an annual event where you're getting event comics. This was the beginning, really, too, of like superheroes fighting superheroes, which is kind of been played out now, but at the time, that was something to see, where you had Spider-Man revealing to the world that he's Peter Parker. You got a fake Thor coming in there, killing Goliath.
Yeah.
You got Steve Rogers on the run, going underground. You got Punisher trying to join forces with Captain America. But man, there's so much goodness in this book of Civil War 2006. I just feel like reading this book all over again right now.
It's so epic. And the thing I love about it was it included the whole Marvel universe.
Yes.
Everyone had an opinion that was a superhero. And the thing that was interesting was both sides, in a way, were correct. right? Like Captain America, he wanted to protect his identity because these people go out and they risk their lives to save you and me.
Yeah, and it's their choice.
It's their choice, right? But Iron Man, he had a great counterpoint where he said we got to be held responsible because there was a tragedy where it was a school that blew up.
Yeah, set by like a reality TV show of the New Warriors or the Young Warriors.
That's right, yeah. Speedball
set it off.
Yeah, and it was really cool and very dark, and I knew the movie, it couldn't have gotten that way.
No.
You couldn't have blown up elementary school.
No.
The movie would have tanked, I think, at the box office had they done that.
Yeah.
But I love how relevant it is. It's no right or wrong answer. It's not black or white. It's shades of gray, and it's who you identified with. And I think reading that, when I was reading it, I was more on the side of Cap.
Oh yeah, same here. And that's the genius part of this, because I know there's other people out there that were totally rooting for Tony.
Yeah.
And that's so cool, because I feel like when they did Civil War II, they couldn't do that. Civil War II, you were all about Tony. Nobody was agreeing with Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
And she really looked like the antagonist throughout the whole thing. Whereas this one, you could have looked either way and been like, Steve Rogers, you're kind of out of line here.
You could see Tony. Iron Man's side, totally.
Totally. And I love that. And like you mentioned, you really include the whole Marvel universe in there, from the X-Men being like, you know what, we're out of this, because where were you guys when we were having our, battle? So, man, great book. Hats off to Mark Millar. And that's my number 3. Go out there and check that book if you haven't, and go get the movie.
Yeah, absolutely. I picked up the trade on Kijiji for $10.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's a nice deal.
You got the hard cover or
the soft cover?
Yeah.
I tried to collect the single issues, but one, when I did, I would never go back and reread it. And 2, when the movie came out, they just became too expensive.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I have the single issues for Spider-Man. I have I think it's a soft cover. No, I have the hardcover for Civil War. That's my only hardcover trade I have, just because I feel like that book is just epicness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And it's only 6 issues, but it seems like longer.
7 issues. 7 issues.
7.
Yeah. I think there's an issue 0 even. I can't remember, but it's definitely 7 issues. Yeah. What's your number 2, man?
My number 2. This is, I'm keeping in the Bat family.
There we go.
This is probably the greatest clash of superhero fights. We talked about Iron Man and Cap.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about DC's Iron Man and Cap. Let's talk about Superman. Let's talk about Batman.
Oh, yeah, all day.
I'm talking about The Dark Knight Returns, the issue 4, the very end of it, we have Bruce Wayne coming out of retirement, and you have Superman, who is in Superman in name only in some ways, because I don't think this is a great representation of Superman in this comic book. As a Superman fan, it always irks me whenever I read this book. But you needed Superman in it because he's Superman. So the U.S. president, he goes and he says, Superman, you got to stop Batman. Batman has come out of retirement, and he's trying to stop the Joker, and as well he's trying to stop... what's the gang?
The mutants.
Yeah.
Mutant gang, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. He's trying to stop the mutants. Thanks, Troy. And Superman says, you're causing too much collateral damage. I'm going to have to stop you. And they go at it. And it is fantastic to see these two titans finally throw down and go at it one-on-one. And the thing I liked about this is you got a clear winner. Sometimes when you see superheroes fight, they don't show you who's going to win, because Stan Lee said, if you show, I can't remember, X fighting Y and Y loses, then the readers of the comic book from the Y character, they're not going to enjoy it as much next month. But this one, they gave us a clear winner. And it worked because it's an Elseworld story. And they also made sure that Superman held back. Because if Superman was going full force, Batman would have bit it. And I think they did a really good job showcasing this fight in Batman v Superman. It was brief, but this fight was also brief in the comic book as well. But it's impactful. Seeing these two titans, seeing the bat symbol and the shield fighting one another, it's powerful stuff. What are your thoughts? Do you remember reading this? Of course you've read this.
Oh,
yeah.
Man. This is so on the money. This is cool. So Frank Miller did this book, this graphic novel, and he gave us Batman Year One. I think he gave us Batman Year One after this.
Yeah.
And he gave us Daredevil Born Again.
That's right.
Which is so good.
Yeah.
So good. Anyways, this, Frank Miller's so good at bringing out this gritty, raw emotion kind of book. And he does it all in this novel here, this graphic novel. And I really like it. I really feel like this book really, or I should say, the Batman v Superman, Ben Affleck really pays homage to that Bruce Wayne. I really feel like he pulls the strings from that one, that seasoned Batman. And man, this is so good. It has like that bit of that Mad Max feel.
Yeah, totally. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, for sure. And it's so good. The Joker's something else. And Green Arrow. We get the one on Green Arrow.
That's right, yeah.
Right?
Shooting the kryptonite arrow.
Exactly. And it totally makes sense that Green Arrow at that point would be teamed up with Batman at that point to do what he did. I feel you for sure with the Superman. It did feel a little out of character.
Yeah, he seemed too like
Way
not
too
even
Boy
like
Scout.
Boy Scouty, but Superman is always about what's right. He would never just trust the U.S. president. I mean, think about how scary that would be right now if Superman just trusted Donald Trump.
Oh, horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, Superman would never trust Donald Trump.
Never.
Superman would fly into the White House and get rid of him. Or Zod would.
Neil.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
And then the Joker. This is a pretty cool take on the Joker. And we get our first female Robin.
That's right, Carrie Kelly.
That's right, with the slingshot, which wasn't very believable throughout this one. But she is pretty cool. All around, this is a good book. I can't remember if there were current Robin in that universe before, if it's Dick Grayson died or if it was still the Jason Todd. Because I do remember them touching on the Robin dying. I just couldn't remember because it's an Elseworld book who died. But this is a must check out. And if you don't like to read, you can either... Don't do BVS. Just go out and get the Dark Knight Returns animated movie.
They did a good job.
That one's pretty good.
Yeah,
the animation's
I really like
pretty
that.
close to the book.
They did a really good job. It's part 1 and part 2.
That's right.
But you can watch them back to back.
That's right. And Joker has a crazy scene in there with like a Conan.
Yeah, Conan O'Brien actually voices him.
Oh, does he?
Yeah,
Okay,
he's the talk show host.
He did, hey?
Yeah,
that's something else.
Yeah,
that scene.
Yeah,
yeah. So, that's a real good pick, man.
Yeah,
and that's actually under my radar. How did I forget that one? Yeah, that's great. Well,
hand in your nerd room card, Troy.
Oh yeah, there we go. Not enough Superman in here.
Yeah.
As I look around, got 2 figures of Superman. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to number 2.
Okay.
Number 2, and I'm keeping it current. This is 2017.
Wow.
This is one of Tim's boys, Charles Soule, and one of my favorite artists, Giuseppe, on the art. And this is Darth Vader.
Oh.
Talking about year 1, this is Darth Vader year 1.
Yeah.
I'm a big Darth Vader guy. Big Darth Vader guy. And if you like episode 3 like I do, pop that bad boy in your DVD or your Blu-ray player or your 4K
I love
player.
episode 3 as well.
There you go.
Yeah,
you like that one?
Just watched it.
Well, there you go. So once you finish watching that again, go back and get issues 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think 5's out yet of this comic book. It takes place right after episode 3.
Okay.
And the big reveal is not the reveal, but the whole premise of this book is Darth Vader needs to go on his journey to get himself a lightsaber.
Oh.
But he can't just make one. He has to go and find a Jedi that's still out there, challenge him without a lightsaber, and kill that Jedi and retrieve that lightsaber to make it his own. And man, this is Vader. This is so good, because this isn't the Vader that we know from Rogue One, where he can just hack and slash and use the Force and kick anyone's ass.
Right.
This is still a Vader that's young and very reminiscent of a year 1 Batman. And he comes across this character called, I think, Kirik, a Jedi Master who's kind of exiled himself to do further training, and he can feel the disturbance, this monster, this darkness in the Force,
right,
which is Vader gunning for him. These two cross paths in this planet, and the art, the splash pages are incredible. Again, we have Vader with no lightsaber, but he's using a lot of the Force pushing, doing all sorts of incredible things. But while this Jedi Master is feared, he's pretty scared of Vader. There's moments where you can see he's terrified. He knows it's the end. And man, this is just such a great issue. We get to see Vader broken down again, so not quite learning his lessons from fighting with Obi-Wan,
right?
But he still knows at the end of the day that he will not lose. Great panel in this book is when Vader gets pushed off the cliff. You think it's the end of Vader, but we all know it's not. He comes back after and kind of gathers himself and really goes full on and defeats this Jedi Master and retrieves that lightsaber. So this is current. This is really new.
Yeah.
This is not even a month or 2 old.
And number 2, wow.
Yeah, and this is my number 2. I love what they did, and this is more of that Rogue One goodness, but in a different way. Of Vader. So definitely go out there, guys. Charles Soule does no wrong. He's done a great run on Daredevil, currently in the all new, all different Daredevil, where he's rocking the black suit. And again, Giuseppe's done some really great art art on Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And what's cool with Giuseppe's art is I know some people aren't the biggest fan of John Romita Jr., and I'm not trying to compare Giuseppe's art to John Romita Jr., but it's kind of very characterized, and with Vader that works because you can pull on emotions with his helmet in different ways without him having to explain it.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel with the old Vader comic that came out, I think 2015 by Marvel, they had a hard time portraying Vader's emotions. So every time they'd have to give you a bubble or some kind of explanation of what's going on in his head. This book doesn't suffer from that at all. So go out there and check out 2017's Darth Vader. I dub it Darth Vader Year One. Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
The thing I like most about Darth Vader is his look.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a menacing look, and I think that's part of the reason why Star Wars captivated the audiences when it first came out, and it was brand new. Nothing like the look of Darth Vader had ever been seen before.
No.
It's downright terrifying. And seeing that, add in the sci-fi elements and everything surrounding it, the tragic backstory, he's just the perfect character.
He's great, man. I love Darth Vader so much. And he's that tragic character, tragic hero, tragic villain.
Yeah.
And we've seen all points of that character. And you know, I can only ask for more, and I'm getting it here in this comic. And you're right, we haven't really seen anything like him. I mean, Doctor Doom kind of at one point.
Doctor Doom-esque, totally.
A little bit. And I think he's kind of roughly inspired by that look
of
Doctor Doom. But when you throw Doctor Doom in all black and you give this guy a red lightsaber, you got Vader, and that helmet, right? It says wonders. So
you just gave me a brilliant idea. Fox should do Doctor Doom, but like make him all black.
Oh,
how menacing would that be?
That would be menacing. You know, he kind of has a cool look right now, actually, in the comics, the infamous Iron Man.
Okay.
Where he's basically taking the Iron Man armor.
Yeah.
Still silver, but he just rocks the green cape and the hoodie. It's very menacing, and he's on the side of good in this comic. So that's another recommendation is the infamous Iron Man. Go check it out.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
man.
Lots of recommendations.
A lot of
this
recommendations.
episode.
Give us another one, man. Let's hear your number one.
Number one. Okay, I talked about Superman quite a bit. But what happens when Superman falls? I'm going back to the 90s. I said it was a bad time for DC superheroes. Superman versus the Kryptonian deformity Doomsday.
Oh, that long hair don't care once again.
Yeah, with the blue or with the green cargo pants.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Doomsday was one tough mother. So he came into the DC universe and he mowed down the entire Justice League with one hand tied behind his back. The containment suit Doomsday, in my mind, is one of the most terrifying and great looks for a character you're ever going to see. He's in the green, and you can only see, like, you can't even see very much. This character jumped onto the scene in the 90s, and, you know, he was a brand new character. They created him, and the only one that could defeat him was Superman. And Superman paid the ultimate price. He gave his life, and him and Doomsday went toe-to-toe in what is one of the greatest action scenes in comic history. This story has almost no dialogue. As the story progresses, the art panels get larger and larger until the last issue is nothing but splash pages. Every page is a full page of them hitting each other, doing other moves to each other to try to defeat him. It's tremendous. Something like that had never been done before, and I don't think it could ever work again because they built up this Doomsday character as this unmovable object, this unstoppable force. And it was reminded me in the 90s of the wrestler Goldberg when he had that streak and he was like 170-0 and people,
had the spear?
Yeah, that's right, and the jackhammer.
Oh yeah.
And people were like, who's gonna stop him? That's what Doomsday was. Who was gonna stop him? So you call up Superman, and it is just fantastic. You see the iconic image of Superman, the suit's torn apart, Lois is holding him, and the cape as a flag in tatters. Iconic. And, okay, this might be controversial, but the Batman v Superman Doomsday fight, although I didn't like the look of Doomsday, I think they could have been more comic accurate. I thought the way that Superman sacrificed himself was so boss, where he takes the Kryptonian spear, jabs it in Doomsday, but is not in far enough, so that he grabs Doomsday's spike, and he pulls himself closer, sacrificing his own life, so that way Doomsday could die. How awesome was that? I mean, that scene just... I haven't yet to watch the movie without crying at Superman's death in that. They did it well. They maybe did it a little too early. I mean, it's only the second movie, but he's coming back in Justice League. So, Troy, you remember this? I mean, Superman versus Doomsday, the death of Superman, comic books. I mean, this thing sold over 1 million issues. Comic book stores actually held like vigils, and people were crying. And this actually made the news. Like CNN talked about like Superman was dying, and it was huge news story from the 90s.
Oh man, this was massive. You could not be a kid in the 90s. I don't care if you read comics. I don't care if you played with Barbies. I don't care if you were playing in a treehouse. If you didn't hear about the death of Superman, you were doing something wrong, because this was massive. This was huge. I think DC was kind of in a rough patch at this point. Marvel was doing okay, and they dropped a bomb on us. They did, and in a good way too.
Yeah,
they dropped the death of Superman. And Doomsday, like, what else can I say about this character that you have not mentioned? He was just had this force, this presence to him. Like, who the hell's going to stop this guy?
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, there's so many iconic things that came out of this book, from Superman's tattered costume.
Yeah.
How many times do you see superheroes now with the tattered costumes? This is the look.
Yeah.
And Superman pulled that off. And the cape, the flag cape,
so
was crazy.
Iconic.
And Lois, holding Superman, and I think the Justice League tried going up against them. They didn't stand a chance, I think, or Batman.
Yeah,
and those
the
guys.
Justice League was so poor at the time. Like Batman, Superman, Aquaman were all not a part of it. So it was like a B-list Justice League, and they just got teamed.
Like Red Tornado and stuff like that, or
it wasn't a very good Justice League.
No, it was no, clearly not. Even if they had the best Justice League, they wouldn't be able to stop this guy. Yeah, this book was something else, and man, that was crazy. I love the art. I can't remember who was behind the art at the time.
Yeah.
But all in all, this was a great book. And this was kind of like the downfall of Marvel, because if you have the death of Superman and your competitor is Marvel, and your go-to at the time is Spider-Man and the X-Men, well, they tried doing something big with Spider-Man, which was the Clone series, and the Clone Saga, and that wasn't received well at all. That was meant to be the next thing to compete against the death of Superman, which lasted for like 6 years. This Clone Saga book, and it's just a mess. So death of Superman, death of Spider-Man, all in one there, I guess, because that wasn't a good look at all. But that's a good call. And I don't even know how I didn't even think of that one. And as you brought that up, I know I'm slacking here, but man, I'd love to get my hands on like a nice statue of those two going at it, Doomsday.
They're releasing one in November. Yeah, icons. I think it's going to be pretty pricey, but it looks fantastic, and it's the traditional Doomsday. It's literally ripped out of the pages, and the Superman flag is in the background. This is a day one purchase for me. I don't even care if it's $300. Right? I'm getting it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and I echo your thoughts on the BVS, because I really feel like if you guys could have done one thing right, it could have been to capture the look of Doomsday. How cool would it have been to see just the look? He didn't have to be this ogre. He could have been, bigger than Superman, of course, but he should have had those spikes.
Yeah,
and
the long
that
hair.
Jaw. Yeah, all that. Because I think even Smallville, he didn't look as good, obviously, but they portrayed Doomsday in an interesting way. Yeah, more so captivating than what they did in BVS. And man, that's unfortunate, but that's a great pick. Number 1, eh? That's awesome.
Just so iconic.
Yeah.
So who do you got for number 1?
Well, number 1, I'm going with my all-time favorite right here.
Yeah.
This is Back in Black, issues 1 to 5, written by JMS. Spider-Man, Peter Parker versus the Kingpin.
Wow.
Yeah, this book is great. This really got me into comics hard again. My wife now, girlfriend at the time while she was away in school, sent me 5 issues, board and bagged, of Batman, of Spider-Man Back in Black. And I never had comics like boarded before. I've seen them, but I didn't really get the idea of them. And when I held those in my hands, I was like, this is precious. This is like a incredible feeling.
Yeah.
And I got those books and I read right through it, and this is off the heels of Civil War.
Yeah.
So after Spider-Man, revealed to the whole world who he is, that he's Peter Parker, all of his enemies are gunning for him.
Yeah.
And at this point, they lost the war. Spider-Man's already taken on the black costume because they've gone underground.
Oh, okay.
And somebody has sent a sniper out for Spider-Man. Spider-Man, obviously having spider senses, dodges the bullet.
Yeah.
Misses MJ, but hits his Aunt May. And you read in this comic, there's one thing you don't do. You don't harm Spider-Man's Aunt May.
No.
Spider-Man goes crazy hunting every thug in town. Everybody already knows who Spider-Man is. Yeah. So you got wicked scenes of Spider-Man web slinging all over the city, just as Peter Parker. He doesn't care anymore.
That's so cool.
It's so cool. It's so badass. And he finally tracks the Kingpin, and they have some crazy dialogue some crazy dialogue through the phone, talking trash back and forth to each other. And Peter Parker goes to the prison where Kingpin's being held.
Yeah.
Goes in there, in the black costume. And he just sets the tone. You know, originally when he wore the black costume, he wasn't bad. It's just a cool look. But in the 90s cartoon, they made it out that he's bad.
Right.
In this comic, they live up to it and they make him bad. Spider-Man is on the verge of killing. He goes down there, kicks a lot of ass, challenges Kingpin to a fight. Kingpin says, hey, you're Spider-Man. You're not going to kill me. And he's like, yeah, you know what? You're right. Peels off the black costume and goes down to Peter Parker, but he's like, I will.
Wow.
You know, and he just sets the tone. There's a huge splash page of him laying out on the Kingpin, just goes to work on him. And man, this is a great issue. So, guys, if you want to get to Spider-Man, if you think you know Spider-Man, go read this book because there's a different spin. Yeah. This is also during the time of the Sam Raimi films, right? Where Spider-Man had the organic webbing. Yeah. You know, so you got Spider-Man basically torturing characters, you know, sticking his hand in someone's mouth, being like, give me the answers or else I'm going to fill you up with my web. Wow. You know, like he's hardcore. Bad. He's hardcore. This is like some Batman writing going on for Spider-Man in the black suit. So, guys, if I can echo or get anything across, it's pick up Darth Vader #2 and pick up Back in Black Spider-Man issues 1 to 5. Fantastic.
That black suit is just so iconic. It's one of the few suits that when you have the hero change costumes, that it still works.
Yes.
Right? Like Batman, he changed. It didn't really work. Superman, there was a backlash when he took off his underwear. Yeah. I think I like the black suit better than the red and blue.
Oh, yeah. It sticks around. And it's cool because I love the black suit. And then just when I feel like, we can switch it up, they give us the red suit for a while. And every now and then they go back to that black suit and it works every time.
I had some action figures of the black suit Spider-Man. Oh, man. Just so iconic.
There you go. I got my Marvel Legend up here in the black suit.
So cool.
And I love that guy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. You're right. That's a good call. You mentioned that. Not too many costumes people change up. I mean, Wolverine, you can go either way with like the tanned orange and the brown, or the tiger, you know, blue and yellow. Yeah, that works. But for the most part, not too many heroes can change up their costumes and make it work.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, that about wraps it of the Nerd Room episode 85.
That's right.
It's been incredible, man. This has been great. Fun. This is fun. It feels good to, really sink our teeth into some of these comic books because, guys, this is what binds us all: Star Wars, DC, action figures, collecting, movies, and of course, comic books.
Absolutely. It's been a while since we talked comic books, and I've been slacking on my reading, but I'm slowly getting back into it. Action Comics has been killing it lately. Yep. And Aquaman has been killing it as well. So I just love the A comics, I guess.
Oh, yeah. yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Well, guys, it's been great. Thanks for tuning in and joining us. And to keep this show going even more so, keep up the conversation. Hit us in the chat boards on our YouTube page and www.thenerdroom.net for more incredible content. Our man Tim and Sunjay and everybody is putting on some cool content down on that website and all around, just keeping up with you guys. So let us know what you guys think of the show.
And let us know, is there a fight that we missed? Exactly. I mean, what is one of your guys' best fights? Tim, we want to hear from you. I mean, I left out Marvel. Troy had a couple Marvels in there. Tim, what is some great Captain America fights? Fighting Red Skull would probably make Tim's list.
Yeah, probably Bucky in there too.
Iron Man.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of that going on. Groot. Cap versus Groot.
Maybe. Why
Cap
not?
the Gardener cutting them trees.
So let us know. Send us a tweet. You can catch our handles at the end of the episode. And let us know what we missed. Or let us know if there's one that you really liked that we mentioned. Let us know.
Absolutely, guys. And to stay tuned. So we'll be back next Thursday, episode 86. The man himself, Tim, will be back holding down the fort alongside with us two knuckleheads. So keep up with us, guys, on our YouTube page. And once again, I'm going to give it another plug, www.thenerdroom.net. Stay tuned. Thanks a lot, guys.
Awesome. Well, thank you for listening. And for the Nerd Room, I'm Sunjay.
I'm Troy.
And thank you for entering our Nerd Room.
This has been a Nerd Room podcast production. You can find our hosts, Tim, Troy, and Sunjay on Twitter at TheNerdRM, TroyTheBoy87, and Sunjabby. For more content from the Nerd Room, check out thenerdroom.net. And don't forget to subscribe to the Nerd Room on iTunes, Podbean, and YouTube. Be sure to head over to StarWarsCommonwealth.com to find more podcasts in the Star Wars Commonwealth Podcast Network, including Talk Star Wars, Tumbling Saber, Generation X-Wing, Rogue Squadron Podcast, Skyros Podcast, and San Diego Sabres. Follow the Star Wars Commonwealth on Twitter at SW Commonwealth and take your first steps into a larger world.